Alright everyone, well this is going to be a little bit different of a video. This is basically going to be all the things I would like to see in the upcoming season of The Flash, season 4 of The Flash. Like villains I would like to see, character arcs, stuff like that. Now, I'm usually pretty vocal about how I didn't like season 3. Overall, I watched the whole season. I kept watching even though I was disliking it more and more just to see it through. But man, like I don't know, like season just wasn't strong to me at all. There was a lot of things that were just annoying. It didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I was really annoyed that once again we had another super speed villain. You know, like that's really tiresome to me. But you know, I'm gonna try season 4. I'm gonna give it a try. Let's gonna see if it keeps it up. You know, brings back some of the quality of season 2 and 1, especially season 1 in my opinion. Um, so yeah, hopefully season 4 will be a lot better, and hopefully they might incorporate some of these things that I'm about to say, because I think they would make these points would make a good season. First of all, we all know that Barry's not going to be gone for very long. Oh, spoiler alert, in case you guys didn't get to season 4, or in season 3, but you should have before watching this. But we all know that Barry is not going to stay gone from his own show for very long. He might come back. He probably come back at the end of the season of episode 1, or he might take a couple episodes, but it won't be like 5 or 6 episodes. I highly doubt that. Some people are saying that Wally will take over the show for the entire season. That I highly doubt that will happen. So yeah, we're gonna get Barry back, but I'm kind of hoping that we can get I'm kind of hoping 2 things will happen to Barry when he comes back that will change him up. One, I'm hoping that he might come back with some kind of this is gonna sound so mean. I'm hoping that he'll come back with some kind of PST, you know, post-traumatic stress disorder or something from being in the Speed Force. Like he'll come back, you know, like he'll come back a broken man, and he'll have to slowly build himself back up to his usual fun, happy-go-lucky self. Um, it'd be interesting to see him like have problems with his speed, like not be able to like, you know, use his powers all the time because he might have these like dramatic, you know, speed, you know, strokes or speed, you know, like dreams that will mess him up. You know, it'd just be interesting, interesting way to kind of handicap the character, make him a little bit more grounded. Also, the second thing is also a way of grounding the character, but I would like to see him get like not have his full speed, like lower his speed level down a little bit. Because I honestly feel like the show is the writers have wrote themselves in some holes where they have to like use plot holes just to make the story keep going. Because he honestly is too fast. You know, like any villain that's not a super speed villain that he fights, he should be able to beat incredibly easily. Like he should just be able to just run and grab Captain Cold's gun, break it, and put Captain Cold in jail like 60 miles away within a second. You know, he's that fast. But they never do that because it would make for a boring show. So instead, he always ends up doing, you know, has these silly things happen or that make him come off as being a dumber character than he really is. And I think a good way to fix that would just be to have the Speed Force, his time in the Speed Force, weaken him, make him weaker, you know, lower his speed level down where he can still run fast, but he can't like just put some limitations to him. Like he can't go through time, or he wouldn't be able to travel to other dimensions. You have to rely more on Cisco for that. You know, he can still be fast enough to catch a bullet. He can still be fast enough to get from city to city. Just make him a little bit weaker. It's kind of like make him like Young Justice version of Kid Flash. I like that. I like that speed level. It's a good speed level for a character to have. And they're still really, really fast. They can still fight really well. They just can't like cover the entire Earth like in 10 seconds, because that's just ridiculous if you really want to think about it. But moving on, we know that the Thinker is a very possible candidate for the season 4 overall villain of the season, because you know he was referenced. His name, his secret identity name, was referenced a couple times in this season as a villain in the future. So we all know he's probably the most likely candidate to be the next villain, which I actually like that idea, because it would mean that for once, we would get a non-super speed villain as the overall villain. I like the idea of the Thinker being the villain because he's like his namesake. He's a thinker. He's a smart villain. It'd be interesting for somebody to be able to challenge Barry on a mental level, not a speed level or physical level. He could start off kind of small, kind of like how he did in his original Golden Age appearances. He could be like a consultant, advisor to criminals. He could like be hiring criminals and helping them plan attacks and stuff. And he could eventually build his little helmet thing that gives him like mental powers to make him more powerful. And then maybe he could even maybe even the helmet could even turn into like a cyborg or like a AI or something. And he could turn into an AI. His body could die or something. You could do a lot of things with his character to make him an interesting villain and a different villain, especially a different villain. I think that's more important in my personal opinion. Now he's originally a gay Jay Garrett. I almost said gay Garrett. He's originally a Jay Garrett villain, so it'd be interesting to see if he has some kind of tie to Jay Garrett. Like maybe he could be a villain from Earth 2 that escaped and came to Earth 1 to reign hell or something. I don't know, but I personally like the idea of him being the villain. I think it would be a very different direction and a fresh direction that we would really need for this show to have. Which brings me to my next point. With the Thinker at the helm, you could easily have the rogues be a bigger part of the season. Have him organize them, utilize their abilities to commit crimes and attack the Flash, or even better yet, you could kind of go for a Nightfall. I think that was the name of the story arc in Batman. You go for a Nightfall kind of idea where the Thinker is using the rogues to like weaken the Flash, constantly having him fighting villains, breaking people out of prison, so the Flash has to constantly run around and stop them. And then whenever the Flash is exhausted and weaker than he should be, the Thinker comes in and strikes with his Alpha Strike. I think that could be a cool kind of like maybe mid-season, cliffhanger. The Flash is super tired from fighting everybody, and the Thinker just comes in and does something to catch the Flash. That could be cool. Very interesting idea. I mean, Arrow steals so many things from so many story arcs from Batman. Why can't Flash steal some kind of story arc element from Batman? I mean, it seems all fair. And then we could have some kind of rift between Barry and Wally. That'd be kind of cool to see because, like, so far in the show, where Barry and Wally have been pretty good friends. They've been pretty neutral, but Barry's always kind of playing the more experienced, like mentor role. And I could definitely see this version of Wally, especially, getting like headstrong and thinking he's surpassed Barry, thinking he doesn't have to listen to Barry. They could get into arguments and debates over that, and it could cause a big rupture in the foundation of the Flash friends, and it could really just make for some good entertaining TV. I think not a really huge point in the season, but I think it could be a good way to like do a couple episodes, have an overarching theme of that. I really enjoyed Dr. Alchemy in the third season of Flash. I was actually thinking he was the main villain. Like I was loving the idea that he was gonna be the main villain, and then Savitar popped up and crushed all my dreams and hopes. But that being said, now that Savitar's out of the way, I would like to see Dr. Alchemy make a return, either as a new person that found the Philosopher's Stone, or maybe it could be Julian. Like the Philosopher's Stone like finds its way to Julian and starts corrupting him. Because honestly, that character's not gonna have a whole lot to do this season, if they even keep him in, because the fact that Killer Frost is going to be like wandering around for at least the early part of the season. He doesn't really have that much to do. He doesn't really offer that much in terms of like skills and stuff. Like he's an interesting character. I like him. He's kind of like a sassy version of Barry, or sarcastic, I guess I should say. But I think that I think he would add a lot more if he was fighting with a Dr. Alchemy personality. And like he was like this villain at night, and forensics guy by day. But that would feel too. I realized that would feel too much like the Killer Frost situation, and having both of those in the same season might be a little redundant. But I still would like this. I think this would be a better version of that than the Killer Frost version. Honestly, I would love to see more of the Trickster. Now, I'm not sure what Mark Hamill's schedule is like these days. I mean, I don't know how busy he is with Star Wars and if he's filming any more for those movies. But I would love to see more Mark Hamill. Like, he could be a part of the Rogues. He could even have, like, I just want to see him. Like, I think one thing that would make it really great, like, this could be a one-shot episode, but just have, like, an episode where him and Toyman team up. Now, Toyman's on another Earth in the CW. Like, he's on the Supergirl's Earth. So I'm not sure how they could do that. Maybe they could just have an Earth 1 version of Toyman. That would be pretty. That seemed like that'd be pretty reasonable, because a lot of times the Earth 2 versions of the characters kind of find themselves in the same lifestyle. So that could work. I would totally watch an episode of Flash where Toyman and Trickster were just doing crazy, gimmicky, stupid things to try to fight the Flash. It'd make for great. I would like to see Max Mercury find his way into the Flash universe. He's actually in the comic books. He's actually like an older version, an older speedster who's from the like 19th century, like the cowboy days, and he like time travels and finds himself into our time and stuff. It could be it could be interesting, like 1 or 2 episodes with him in it. I wouldn't want him like overly. I wouldn't want him in the whole season. I feel like they have too many recurring characters as is, and it could really cramp things up. But I would like to see him nonetheless. He could be like a the only problem is that he would be too much like a Jay Garrett character, and I feel like there's not enough. That wouldn't be very good, like having 2 characters like that. But still, I would like to see it. Maybe him and Jay Garrett could even have like some kind of like rivalship going on or disagreement about something. So it'd be like these 2 bickering mentors. Character-wise, I feel like they really need to thin the herd on this show because there's just so many. The same thing with Arrow, which Arrow, if you watch the finale, they might have kind of do that. We don't know yet. But I really feel like they need to thin the herd on this show. Like, cut out some characters. Like just not have as many characters. It's easy. Like, as far as character deaths, one character I love this character, but one character I would like to see die, who I think would make a great impact on the show, would be Joe. I think if Joe died, it would be a big step, in the evolution of Barry's character, even Iris's character, even Wally's character. He would affect so many people, and that actor is a great actor, so he could go out in a really awesome scene. Like, you could have him go out there's just so many ways you could have him die, and it would be a great performance, whichever way he did. Julian, I think, really needs to go unless they do the Dr. Alchemy thing I was talking about earlier. Then he really doesn't have anything to do in it. He won't have much to do in this season. So unless they do that, I feel like they need to get rid of him, like have him disappear. Tracy Grant, or whatever her name was, I don't think she really has anything to add now that Savitar is gone and Harrison Wells is dead, or Harry's dead. So we don't need her. I really don't need a Harrison Wells. I really don't, because you can have Harry appear back off and on, but him and Jesse should probably not be series radicals. They should just appear every once in a great while for important story arcs, which they kind of do already, but they do appear a little bit more often than they need to, I think. But all in all, those are my ideas for things I would like to personally see from season 4 of The Flash. I think there's a lot of potential there for the next season. The biggest thing I want to see, if I can get one of the things I talked about, I would just want a villain that's not a super speedster. Like, I want, if it's gonna be Thinker, that's fine, but just don't have it be Thinker and then 7 episodes in we Reverse Flash comes back, or it's some kind of like Blue or Flash or Godspeed or just some random speedster character. I would really hate that. And this might be an unpopular opinion, but I feel like Wally should go and do something. Like, he should go run to another city or go traveling. He should just be ridden out of the show for a little while, because he honestly I don't know if there's enough room in the show for 2 fully powered super speedsters, unless they do something like Barry being weaker and Wally is a superior speedster. That could be fun, or them having a rivalship with each other. But just having them be equals the entire show and running around like Batman and Robin, it's just not. I don't think that's a good idea. I think they could do something different with that. But there you have it. Those are my opinions and my ideas for what we could do in season 4 of The Flash. If you guys have any other ideas, or if you disagree with me on something, let me know in the comments. I would love to have some discussions come out of there on what could improve, or the show, or if the show already has enough improvement. So as always, thanks, comments, likes, all that stuff, and see you guys later. Bye.